Okay guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make your works cited page and your internal citations for your research stuff for your drama essay. I'm going to show you how to do the format the works cited in Microsoft Word and in Google Docs. I know a lot of people use Google Docs, but remember you have Word through Northeast State, which is cool. Alright, so I'm going to, my goal here is to create a correctly formatted MLA works cited page. So first thing we need to do, and your works cited page, you know, it like goes at the end of your essay, so you will have essay above this, but I don't have essay written, so I'm just going to show you how to make a works cited page. At the top of your works cited page you should write works cited. It's works, like multiple, because there's more than one, and cited because you're citing them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my research doc stuff over here, and I'm going to grab these citations. Remember, I pulled the citation and then I made it into a heading just so I could use the navigation over here. But obviously we don't want it to look like that when it's on your works cited page. So I'm going to take my citation. I'm going to paste it over, and instead of just hitting Control V to paste, I'm going to hit Control Shift V. That is going to remove this formatting. If I just hit Control V, it's going to give this, you know, it's still going to be in heading mode. So I hit Control Shift V, and that is merge formatting. So Control V means it'll keep the formatting. Control Shift V means it'll change the formatting to match the new page. So I'm just going to go through here and grab my citations. Control C, Control Shift, click it, Control Shift V, and Control C, Control Shift V. Alright, so that's an extra space in there for no good reason. So as you'll see, this is just the Aptos is the Microsoft Word's default stuff, Aptos 12 is, but for MLA formatting, which is so old school, we use Times New Roman. So first thing I'm going to do is just make my whole document into Times New Roman. Then I'm going to center this works cited page, which is an alignment. It's going to look like lines somehow. So on this it'll look like lines. I'm going to center just that works cited line, not the whole thing. Now, for MLA format, you want to have a hanging indent, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I've highlighted all of this, all of my citations. Oops, really quick, I'm going to make sure that they are in alphabetical order before I do this, and they're not. So I'm going to move that up there. So we want it to be in alphabetical order by author last name. So whatever this is, or article title. So whatever this is, just alphabetize it by that first thing. So I've got it alphabetized now, and I'm going to highlight the whole thing. I'm using Microsoft Word, so I'm going to hit ... over here, and I'm going to go down here to special indent. Then I'm going to scroll down to hanging, and it's going to give me a hanging indent. So this is what the hanging indent should look like. It should look like there's the first line is sticking out, and then the rest of it is like moved over a little bit. The reason this is helpful, so a lot of times people have questions about how to do the internal citations. So if you do your works cited page first, it's really handy because by and large, like 99% of the time, maybe 100% of the time, the information that goes into your internal citation is what's hanging off your hanging indent. So this one's really easy. This is just this this first one just has one author. So for this, I'm going to give you an example down here. Now you don't have to do this. Your works cited should just look like that. That's totally fine. But if you, for an example, I'll give, so for the first one, the internal citation I would use would just be Benz V, and it looks like there are page numbers attached to that one. Yeah, so we're going to pretend I'm using this. So let's say we'll use this actual quote from in here. So I have this quote over here in my research document example. I'm going to pretend, like I'm quoting it over here. It pasted super weird. And I'm going to keep an eye on my font, making sure that my font continues to be Times New Roman. So let's say I'm going to quote this in the story. So, or not in the story, in my paper. God, y'all, I'm all over the place. I'm going to use this quote from this first article in my essay, and that is on page 142. So I know that from over there. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I have figured out what goes in the internal citation by looking at what's hanging off the hanging indent, which is Ben's V, and that was on page 142. So that's what that should look like. So when you do your internal citations, it is the last name of the person or the article title or whatever it is. This first little bit that's this first bit that's hanging off the hanging indent is what goes in your internal citation. And if you think about it, it makes sense because like if you're reading through this paper of mine and you see this quote here and you're like, oh, hey, I want to know more about this. This internal citation very clearly points to this entry on the Works Cited page because that's what's hanging off the hanging indent here. So it's meant to be kind of user friendly. I know it seems confusing, but it is meant to like be pretty functional. So let's do one for the second one here. Let's see, this one didn't have any page numbers, did it? No. So, okay, so we'll pull this quote for the second one, and I don't even think that's a full sentence, and that is okay. And that one doesn't seem to have page numbers, so if we don't have the page number, we just put the author's last name. And we've got two authors here. This lady gets around. If it's two authors, you put and, like that. So one author would just be their last name and the page number if you have it. Two authors, you put and the page number if you have it. I didn't have page numbers here, so is what it is. If it's three authors or more, it would be like this. So we'll use this. That would be all that you'd do, is you put et al, which means and everybody, and all y'all. So if it's two authors, you do the and. If it's three or more authors, you do the et al. But we don't have one of those here. So, and we pulled a little bit from this last one. So for the last one, my internal citation, oops. Oh, the formatting is always fun, isn't it? So I would say, this is my quote or my paraphrase. You gotta cite paraphrases as well. And I would put gross, and I think that was page 88. So that's how you do that. So it is handy if you make the Works Cited page first, because then you can just pull the hanging indent off of over here. So that's how you do it in Microsoft Word. Now we are going to take this and put it in Google Docs. If you're using Word, you can totally stop watching now. And I am going to put it in here, and we'll change the formatting on this. So Google Docs default font is Arial, so we're going to change that to Times New Roman. It's also going to default to 11-point font, which is tiny for what is it? Times New Roman. Why can't I remember that? Super tiny. I'm going to make this bigger so we have more options. So make sure it's Times New Roman 12-point font. That's just what MLA is. Again, I'm going to center this Works Cited bit, and then I'm going to highlight all of this, and I am going to go where to go. I'm going to go up here to Format. Again, this is in Google Docs. I'm going to go to Align and Indent. It's not going to be an option, so I'm going to hit Indentation Options. It's going to have a special indent here, and I'm going to hit Hanging. See what it does. No. Oh man. It should work. Let's see. Format, Align and Indent. Why? Let's see what it does. It seems to not be hanging indenting. What shall we do? Might be because I pasted it over. Nothing is going to plan. I'm going to clear the formatting and try again. Yeah. If you can't get it to work in Google Docs, do it in Word, because I just showed you how to do it. I will find another video of how to do this, because apparently I don't know how to do it. I thought that's how it worked, but I guess I'm wrong. So I'm going to stop this video and I will find you a different example by someone else who has their stuff together.